I'm Terry, and this is Tea with Terry, where we dive into thoughts, emotions, and actions. As a functional nutritionist, this Naked Mind senior coach, and someone who's interested in midlife, I have a lot to share. So let's talk today about a thought. So I want to talk to you about distractions and how they show up in our life. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story about something that happened recently that highlighted this for me. So, my husband and I went out on a date night and we went to a live concert in our small town. I live in Northern California in the gold rush in the gold rush setting of Grass Valley. And we have this little venue where we saw Los Lonely Boys, such a fun concert. And there was about, I don't know, maybe 350 people in attendance. So a small venue. And there was some interesting people watching going on. And it made me think about where distraction shows up in our life and where we get caught up in these habits that we have cultivated and probably aren't even aware of. So there was two things that I noticed. And one was that they had asked at the beginning, like they do at any live event, that don't use your flash if you're going to take photos, and because it's very distracting to other people and in the audience. But if you've ever been in a darkened theater or concert venue and somebody opens up their phone, it's bright. So if you're taking a photo and the photo setting is not flash, the camera's pretty dark. But there was a gentleman just a row ahead of us who kept pulling out his phone, texting and checking Facebook. And I thought it was fascinating because it was distracting enough to draw my attention away from the concert. But I also was like, what is so important that he's missing this event? And it was a loud, vibrant, there's people dancing in the front. And so there was plenty going on. And so I had to really come back to this idea that it was probably just a habit around distraction. And so we get so used to having something happening every moment. And our attention has been hijacked by all of the instantaneous experiences we can have. How many times have you or someone in your family sat down to watch a movie together and you look over and they're scrolling on their phone? It used to be just my kiddos would do this, but some other family members have started to do it too. And I'm guilty once in a while. And so that's a great place to start, is just to check in with what are my habits around pulling out my phone at any moment. The other thing I noticed was this idea, and this was reinforced by a blog article. I think I read it on Substack a couple of weeks ago. So there were also people, again, there was dancing in the front, and then we had reserved seats. And so people were moving from their seats up to the front to record parts of the concert. But it was really interesting because I noticed I took a few photos, and I noticed when I took photos that I was kind of missing out on the moment in order to capture the moment. And so if you are feeling like it didn't happen, if I didn't capture it for Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, it's time maybe to rethink what we are reinforcing. So I watched these people out there with their camera, recording the concert, and I couldn't help but feel that they were missing the moment. It's very distracting to be focused on that. It's almost like when you're looking down from above in a dream and something's happening, but you're not really a part of it. And I felt kind of bad for them. And it just reminded me again to think about my own behaviors. So the blog post that I read was all about this new way of having to record everything, and kind of this generation that's we're teaching and modeling to, who is really tied to recording so much of their life. Like it didn't happen if I didn't record it. I think I said that. But she was talking about this phenomenon where new moms. So when I had my children, I had my first child in 1984 and my last child in 1995. So a while ago. So we definitely have changed the way that we invite people into the delivery room, who gets to see the new baby. But there was something she shared in this article about, and I think she linked to a video where all of these people were coming in to see the new baby and the mother. And there was 4 or 5 family members, and they were walking in like this, and they were looking at their camera instead of noticing the smell of the room, the softness of the baby blanket, the mother's hair, the tired dad. No, it was all about capturing this moment. And I wonder if we've forgotten how to use our own memory and recall things. And it's kind of like with Siri. So if you use Siri on your phone to answer questions, are we forgetting how we look something up? What do we ask? How do we even, inquire or use inquiry? And so I think all of these things are related. And I invite you for today's thought to just think about, where is my social media and my photos and my recording and my need to experience this in a way that is once removed from my real life? Where is that interfering? We use a lot of buffering, and certainly in my own life with alcohol, that came, first and foremost. But we also buffer with food. We buffer with social media. We buffer with streaming. We buffer with these instantaneous moments that we can just move with hyperspeed from one activity to the next without really absorbing or acknowledging being in the present moment. So that's my thought for today. I'm Teri, and this is Tea with Teri, and you can follow me on Instagram and get more thoughts, emotions, and actions.